Okay, I'm looking at an ECU. This one's had water damage. Originally it wasn't working, and I've left it in the shed and it's obviously got water damage and looking worse than when I first left it in here. So I don't mind experimenting with it. What I have been doing is been putting the power in here from a battery to power it up. I'm looking at, we've got the injector driver there. This is out of a 2007 Audi A3 with a 2-litre BKD engine. So what I'm doing here is looking to see, we go through this bit here. I had a look at the number on there and trying to figure out how this worked. So it says it's a MOSFET transistor. And the bit at the bottom here, I'll just show you this bit. It calls it the drain. And in this case, that drain, I touch the voltmeter on there, I've got battery voltage. So it's kind of like you'd think it's back to front. The one at the side here is the source. I'm touching that and it's got nothing. And this one here is the, what are they calling that? The gate. Right, so that's a gate right there. So what I've done, got the battery rigged up here. It's going onto the case. And the voltmeter wire is also trapped in there as well. Using an LED test light, going from the battery positive, and touching this one here that it calls the gate. You see that brightness? Because right over there I've got a headlight bulb that's taking the place of a fuel injector. It stays on. Touch it again with negative this time instead of positive, and it's out. It stays out. So this is just me playing about inside an ECU, something I wouldn't normally have the chance to do. But when it's scrap, like this one clearly is now, with that water damage, I haven't got anything to lose. So that's how that's working. This one next to it appears to be a, from the description and the part number, I just googled it and made some notes. Okay, this basically looks like it's got two one-way diodes by the look of it. So if I was to get power into these two, it would come out there. And they all end up at the same pin here. That one there with all the dots, and there's like two in that circled in area. Those two wires are the same place as these. They all connect. The output here on that side and the output here. And they join up and they go off to the 4 injector wires. Starts off 2 wires, ends up just 1 wire by the time it gets to the outside of the cylinder head. And then you've got an individual wire for each ground. And just do that again. I'm going to show you something else here. Touch that. Injector or headlight bulb is on. I got quite a voltage drop. On the side where the power's coming in, with the headlight bulb on, it's 11.8 volts. Not the best battery in the world. Maybe I should charge it, but on the side where it comes out, 9.7. That's quite a drop. So that's obviously going to be over here as well. On those 2 pins, 9.7, and right there, 9.7 as well. Wonder what it is up here. near the bulb. Slight drop there as well. But the biggest drop is right across here. So maybe that's partly the problem. We did have a P1664 injector circuit fault. You could clear the fault code. As soon as you start the car, it would come back on straight away. And I'm just thinking maybe it's something in there, that voltage drop, high resistance. Maybe it's not liking that. Anyway, I'll put that bulb out. So I take it just switches these on and off as it needs them. I think they're also controlled on the ground side as well. But they don't just come on and stay on by the look of this. So that's the volts out again now. What's the battery voltage at now? 12.43. Like I say, it's not a great battery, but still, we do have a big voltage drop across this. That may be why I had the P1664. I think that's what the code was. I'll correct it in the edits if I'm wrong. That might be why, because the voltage dropped there. Right, I flipped over the ECU. I have 4 of these MOSFETs right there. Transistors, I think they're calling it. Okay. I got the same thing, basically the setup, but only I've wired it slightly different. Still using a bulb, but I'm not going through the power on before like we had. I'm just going to here. Well, basically I'm going direct from the battery to the bulb, but I'm also going from the battery to the ECU power in. I'm going from the battery negative into, well, that's going on to the ground here, into the case of the ECU instead of to the pin, because tell you what, these wires, I don't know if anyone else has got the same set or a similar set, but when you pick them up, see how chunky that bit is right there? It makes it hard to put 2 wires next to each other when they're really close, because of that bit where my thumb is, right there. It's almost like I need to slice that off them all with a knife. I've seen other people using similar things that don't have those big chunky bits, and I get it that they're there to make it stronger, but I also find it stops you putting 2 wires together. They get in the way a lot of the time. So that's why I've gone on to here. But same test as before. I'll start by showing you. Now, like any bulb that's switched off that's connected to a battery, and the switch is on the ground side, that's going to be my switch. So I've got the power coming, it's coming from the battery. 12 volts. Move to the bulb. I can hold that better. Right. 12 volts. The other side of the bulb, the ground side, because it's not switched on. See, I've moved to that side of that bulb. Still at 12 volts. All the way to this one. There was pin 1, and it's injector 2. Which is this one, they're not in the order you think they are. See, I've still got the volts there. They kind of put it in the firing order. So the one that'll probably fire after, well, 2-1, it wouldn't be 2-1. 1's an end one, so it could be. There's a middle, one of the middle two go up and down together, so it could be 2. Then an end one, it's going to fire next. Back to one of the middle ones, then back to an end one, so it's almost like they're laying them out in a firing order. Anyway, the others don't have voltage. It's just that one there, the first one. and that's for injector 2, but in this case it's for a headlight bulb. So same as before, got this one going to the battery positive, an LED, gonna touch it onto the same thing like before, and the light comes on, but unlike before it goes off as soon as I take it off. It doesn't come on and stay on. I'm going to check the other 3 and see if they all do the same thing. Also, what I want to do, if I can hold that in there, I want to get a voltage measurement. If it's not going to be easy because I'm holding the phone, I'll try it. I'm not going to give up. Yeah, look at this. Should really have just put my phone in a clamp. I've got the phone clamp right there, the tripod. I could have just put it right there. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Changed it out a bit. Got the voltmeter here. Still got the bulb. Still the same idea. 12.5 volts. I switch the bulb on. That's gone to 0. Right? Right there. Because the bulb is now out, and that's gone back up. So that's because we're on the ground side, the switch is on the ground side. So basically we seem to have a switch to turn this on to give it power, and it stays on until it's switched off again. We also have a switch to give it a ground, but that needs to be powered. And here's the weird thing, I don't see where these tracks run to. I couldn't see anything for them. So we could try another one. Let's try another one. Okay, that was... I gotta move this about a bit. Looking at that, I've got to go to the top 3 now, so it's... Try that one first. Right. And that one, in my notes, says that one is injector 1. And injector 1's the second one in. So that one should have the 12 volts, and it does. Right. Can I give it power? And the bulb does come on, it goes out as soon as this is let go, so it's not quite like the other side. Check them all. I'm just going to do the same thing though, but that's interesting. So these are ground side controlled. Yeah. That looks like fun. Could probably still do that with that one disconnected. Let's try that. We've got the 12 volts. Let's power that one up. Yeah, it puts the bulb on just the same way. Take that away, it goes away. I'm just giving it a ground so the goes in, the power comes out from the ECU to the injector, or the bulb in this case, comes back into the ECU. I've only got one wire in, like I say, I couldn't put a few of them together because they're too chunky to fit in there. So I'm just checking these one at a time. The last 2 that I could check. And the 2 that are next to this. And we'll see what happens. Get that one. That one, that's the next one in. I've got in my notes that's injector 3, and injector 3 is the 3rd one along. So we've got the 12 volts. Let's give it power to that one. It comes on whilst I'm touching it. Only whilst I'm touching it. And may as well try the last one. We'll check the injectors. We did find a voltage drop on the other side. So they seem to work. In fact, let's see what we have here. 0.6, so it's using up almost all the voltage. See that? It's using up almost all the voltage. 0.06. Try and get that on there. 0.03 on one side. 0.33, 0.06 on the other. So it is basically using it all up. And they go under all these bridges, like a little canal with bridges over. So they go under all of those, end up going to here, right? And that's like the final resistor, 0.03, an absolute zero on that side. Okay, if I find anything else out interesting, I'll let you know. I'm just playing, and probably you realize this anyway. A couple of capacitors seem to be, if we follow this, so it comes through here, through there, and then joins into that one and goes over, then could end up going into the capacitor to store it. Must be so when it switches off, it's a cleaner on and off by going in the capacitor, kind of like points in a condenser, and these would be like the points in a distributor. Which one am I in this time? That one right there. Yeah. But that's not going through that way, so that doesn't matter what I said, doesn't matter there. That's 12 to there. Comes out this way, doesn't it? That middle one is the same thing. That one right there is the same as that. So that one, those 12 volts. Are only there. Right, so the 12 volts there, because it's going right through. Not sure why they need that. This side it's dropped a bit. So all those have dropped a bit. And then on this side, it's a little bit less. I haven't figured out where this track comes from, but the one that I'm touching on that side, to light it up. Not sure where that track's going to or from. Doesn't appear to be going anywhere. I've tried to follow it. It must go somewhere though. Anyway, I'll figure that out. Thanks for watching.